Design Salvation, Episode 3.
This is Design Salvation, your lifeline to better design with Dixie and Annie. Our mission is to share our conversation with you so we can all elevate our work and lifestyle. Welcome to the fold.
Hi, I'm Dixie Stark.
I'm Annie Lundquist.
And this is Design Salvation.
Thanks for coming along and listening. And
yeah, we're going to have a good time today. We're going to kind of, wing it a little bit in that we're just going to do a rundown of the week. I'm kind of feeling like I just want to hear about your week, Annie, because
you want to hear about
I
my
haven't
week?
seen you.
I know.
What in the world?
We get a little too busy. We certainly can't connect during the week very often.
It's kind of crazy town. But anyways, I just feel like right now I'm in that middle of transition where it's like I'm finishing up some jobs and then I'm starting up new jobs. And it's like, when you go to the grocery store and everybody decides to check out at the same time.
All your clients are checking out.
No, thank goodness they're not checking out, but they're either checking in or checking out. They all want attention. They're all in line.
Oh, I see.
And so I'm in that situation right now. So, one of the things that we can talk about as we progress today is how to kind of manage and budget your time. How to project.
Good. I was working on that in a little different way this week. So that's perfect.
Oh, okay.
So how are you managing the transitions?
Not well.
Oh, okay.
Is that a confession? I guess that's a confession.
It could be.
Yeah.
We may come back to that.
I try really hard to project. That's one of the things that I'm always conscientious of is what's coming down the hopper. But part of that is just me as a person. I'm a planner. So I don't like surprises. I don't like to know that there's a surprise even down waiting on me. That's not my thing. I need to be very aware of what's about to happen. So with that said,
I'm the other way.
I know. And that's why we're such a good pair.
Because I'm seat in my pants.
Yeah, you're total opposite. You can shoot from the hip really easy and the whole thing. And I'm a little bit more methodical. And so I'm always like, okay, I just signed a contract. I am projecting that this contract is going to last till this amount of time. And then it will probably last a little bit longer, but I'm not really sure. There's some flux in there, but I need to be signing new contracts during this phase of this project.
I have never in my life thought that way.
Oh, well, and maybe this is just me being neurotic and laying in bed in the middle of the night or getting up on Monday mornings and going, what am I doing this week?
No, I'm learning. Yeah. Okay, but if you're lying in bed thinking I need to get some contracts signed or I need someone to walk in the door, I mean, how do you wake up the next morning and make that happen?
Well, I do have the notepad by the bed.
Yes.
That's not probably the best thing in the world, but I do have that. I try to put the electronics down, and sometimes I fail at that, but I do have the notepad next to the bed, and I will make notes about, something that I want to get off of my mind so that I can actually get some sleep.
Sure, but I mean in the sense that you talk about you're a planner and you want to know you have this in the hopper and you have this that you want to put in the pipeline so that in August, let's say, you're starting a new project.
Right.
Like, let's just say there wasn't anybody on the horizon. What would you do?
If there wasn't anybody on the horizon or there wasn't a project that was big enough to fill the gap that I have, then I'd start a podcast. No, I'm kidding.
I'm totally
kidding because it's like right now we're both like scrambling, trying to, figure out our schedules and get together. But what I would do is I would go back and look and see if there's any unfinished business on any of the projects that I've either worked on in the past or that kind of fizzled out or,
Didn't quite wrap up properly.
I would start to reach out to those folks. I will honestly say I've never really had that problem. I've always had the opposite problem where somebody's wanting to start before I'm actually able. And it's only been in the past 10 years, I would say, not in the beginning of my career, but in this latter part of my career that I've been able to say, you know what? I can't do it yet.
Right.
Like, I don't have the capacity,
I
which
love
is a
that word,
word
the one
that you like to
learned
hear
from
me
you.
say. And it's true, because I used to have a bigger staff, and now it's just me. And of course, I have an intern now this
Yes, you do have an intern.
I sure enough do. And
Should
we'll
we
talk
have
about-
her say hello?
Yeah, let's do. She's here.
Hey, I'm Lucy Lundquist. I'm Annie's daughter,
But she's my intern.
but I'm Dixie's intern.
That's
so
right.
That's pretty cool.
See, she clarified that.
Cool.
She clarified that. I love it.
Do you
I
know
love
what
it.
Dixie said to me the other day? Because I was saying, I need more help. I have too much to do. And she said, well, you really screwed up because your daughter's my intern.
Yeah, but I help you after hours.
Yes, you do.
Oh,
You're a good
yeah,
help.
you're having a double dip a little bit, sounds like.
So my time issues are, I'm focusing on more a micro level. That's a macro, what you were talking about.
Yeah,
Like
kind of
ins
the
and
big
outs,
picture. Yes.
So
get it.
mine that I worked on this week that I really needed to
I did want to ask what you were
was
doing.
time blocking within each day, because I go from one client to the next, to the next, to the next, instead of having a real set thing where, okay, this is client A for this hour, and there will be no distractions. Like I turn my phone over because they might be texting me, or the contractor might be, and I'm just no.
And I think that's so important, because we invoice hourly, or most designers, including myself, and I believe yourself, invoice hourly. And so we have to be able to account for our time. And so having that block of time is so important, especially if you're in the office.
Yeah.
When, like today, for instance, I struggled a little bit because I was out of the office. And when I'm out of the office and I'm in front of clients, it's a lot different than when I'm in my office and I'm focusing on a project. And I see what you were doing this week versus what I was just talking about.
Because you were in the field and I was in the office, but I was getting all scattered, and then I had to really drill down and say,
it could happen.
Oh, drives me crazy. I am easily skittering off to the other client when I see something. Maybe I'm trying to resource something online and I see something that would work for another client.
And that is a constant struggle because of technology and the accessibility that people have to us now.
Yes.
And that we have to them, furthermore. We're texting them going, hey, can you do this? Or, hey, I forgot about that, or whatever the situation may be. But I do believe that it is very important to do that time blocking and say, I'm going to dedicate this. I will tell you, one of the tricks that I do, and I've learned this from the many podcasts that I listen to, is I set the timer on my phone for 20 minutes. And I make myself focus for 20 minutes, which inevitably every time turns into 30 minutes.
Right.
But I don't set my phone for 30 minutes. I set it for 20. I don't know. Maybe 20 just sounds like I can really focus for 20 minutes. And I literally work by that phone 20-minute kind of section
that's
when I'm
good.
in the
20-minute
office.
sections.
So that means that I'm essentially working the half hour for clients solely on one project.
Smart.
And then if I find myself getting distracted, I have a sticky note that I just quickly jot down that thought, like wallpaper for so-and-so or invoice for such and such. These are the things that I've completely forgotten about, or that have just popped into my mind because I was working on someone else's, and I got to do theirs too.
Yep. And I think we don't realize how I was working with a business coach last week, because
I love working with a coach.
I know you've done that,
I
and I
love
think
it.
it's so cool. So my friend is getting, what's it called, accredited or something as a business coach. So I'm a little bit of a guinea pig.
Oh, that's great, though.
I know.
That's great.
It's a huge benefit to me.
Yes, for
but the
both
one
of
thing
you.
she said was, when I was discussing this issue and why I'm focusing on time blocking, she said, do you make sure your phone is turned over? And I said, no, I have it on silent. But then I thought to myself, oh my gosh. And I picked up my phone, and that very day, in the space of 1 hour, I'd been interrupted 8 times by clients. 8 times.
I totally believe
so
it.
I am really flipping that phone over, not just turning it off.
That's really good.
Yeah.
That's really good. And I think that the critical thing here, obviously, is to do what works for you. But I love to get the perspective from a coach that says, try this.
And makes you accountable too.
Yes, there's an accountability, and there's just this new, fresh way of approaching something or trying to approach something. And so I think that's really, really good. I love that you're working with a coach. Yay. I probably have had, this is a little confession. Is this a confession? But I've probably had
the
through the
thing's
years.
a confession.
I've had at least 7
Have you really?
coaches. Yeah. And they've all been for different things throughout my career, which is a little scary, but I've had about 7 different coaches that I can name
so
on
now
nothing.
I feel like I'm like cramming every coaching I can into my short leftover life as an interior designer because I'm so old. I'm double nickels.
You are crazy. You are not old. That's nuts.
Well, we can always keep learning. And I do feel like this is kind of a fun phase with my kids off at college where I can really focus more on my career.
Yeah, totally fun. And I think that with the
Yeah.
experience of double nickels or just a 50-cent piece, I think
almost. You're not even a 50-cent piece.
I'm almost 50 cent. But I do believe that the experience factor and then the just kind of getting to know your habits, which you're doing right now with your coach, getting to know yourself and recognizing just kind of the experience factor with where you want to be in terms of what you've already done.
Yes.
And what you want to accomplish really make for a real clear kind of vision that allows you to focus on your career and allows you to give it the energy it needs. So
it's fun. It's fun to do that.
It is fun
to feel like you have lots more things to accomplish.
Well, and reinvent yourself a little bit. I think that the people that I've admired most, particularly in music, are the ones that have completely reinvented themselves time and time and time again.
Oh, in music.
Yeah. Just think about Madonna, for instance. I mean, look how many times she's reinvented herself. It's pretty amazing. It's just
true.
kind of,
Although I think she's having trouble giving up on the reinvention.
Well, she is now, but back in her,
yes.
she's past double nickels. So
she is past double nickels.
But I just think about just various creatives, I guess, even photography and graphic designers where I can't name one right off the top of my head, but I notice when someone has reinvented themselves, and I'm always very kind of taken with that. So I think that we're at that point where we can do that too. So there you have it.
And I even posted, and things changed. I had a bit of a hate on yellow for decades, ever since I was pregnant.
Whoa. And so now you're okay.
I posted that today on Instagram.
Let's check it out. I'm going to check it out. And so you posted this on Instagram that you're back.
I'm back with.
I'm reunited
in your wheelhouse with marigold and yellow and sunshine.
Okay, what spawned that?
Well, my good designer friend came to visit, and she said, "Annie, you used to love these colors," and I've sort of still been connected to sort of a saffron, but not really with any sort of passion.
Okay, does this have anything to do with spring?
Possibly, but it hasn't happened in past springs. Because when I was pregnant with Lulu, I could not stand yellow. Daffodils made me nauseated. Yeah, it was bizarre.
So it wasn't just a smell thing. It was a sight thing.
Isn't that
but
bizarre?
see, we're visual. So
I know,
I
exactly.
totally get that.
Well, and this is when I made my biggest design mistake still of my career.
When
color
you were
mistake.
pregnant.
Yes, when I was pregnant and color was all wonky for me.
Okay, hello confessions.
Yes.
Let's just call this a confession right now because I am ready to hear it. Let's talk about it.
It's still painful to me.
Okay.
I had a friend who called and needed a color consultation. They were
a friend or a client? Kind of both?
I was just consulting.
Okay.
So a friend.
Okay.
And I was just consulting. And she was going to use this beautiful floral fabric that had a peach color in the background of it. And it was sort of creamy, and her house had these peach accents here and there in the fabrics. And somehow in my demented pregnant brain, I decided that the wall should be peach, that it was somehow a neutral. Okay, peach is Band-Aid.
I have had a client call it Band-Aid.
Yeah, it can be Band-Aid so easily, right? The only way to make a pretty peach, quite frankly, is to glaze it, where you have the more depth. So
Agree.
I
Absolutely
did that
agree.
to them, and then they put their house on the market, and luckily it was a good time for sales, so it sold, but it sold to some other friends of ours. And I was just dying internally because I didn't want anyone to know that that was my color choice.
Oh, honey.
And the first thing they did was repaint the whole house. Thank God.
That's so funny. They repainted the whole
Are you
house and they
laughing
were
at me?
friends of yours.
Who's laughing at me?
Well, it is kind of funny. And so you knew the new homeowners.
I did. I don't know that they knew that I was the reason that place was
that
such a hideous
must not
color.
be confessed.
Mhm.
I'm not going to make you go back and do that.
Okay, but what do I do to redeem isn't there something redemptive I have to do after confession?
Yeah, you're supposed to do something really,
And I have told
good.
that
You have?
friend that
Okay.
it was the worst design mistake I've ever made. Is that good enough?
Oh, wow. And what did they say to that?
She just kind of laughed and moved on. I don't know if she was still traumatized by it like I was, but
Okay, have you
I'm
been
sure
in
she thinks-
contact with them? Have you
Yes.
spoken with them? Do you
Yes.
know where they're at?
Yes.
I think that what you should do is send them a bouquet of peach flowers.
Oh, now peach looks
Or-
great in flowers.
Yeah, of course it does.
Gorgeous.
Send them either a bouquet or it has to come from your garden. Although I know your garden is mostly pink because you love you some pink.
My garden is
Or
mostly
white.
green.
Well,
I do
of course
very,
it is.
very, very few flowers.
But you have those beautiful tulips you brought me.
I had a
Those were in
dozen
pots, weren't
tulips
they?
that I grew, and I brought
And don't you
some.
have hydrangeas?
Oh yeah, blue,
Yeah. But those are okay.
blue.
All right,
a
well,
little
you're
bit of
gonna have
white,
to send them
silver,
from the
and blue.
florist
Okay,
then.
I'm going.
You have to send them from the florist.
I love
And it
that
doesn't
idea.
have to be a big bouquet,
Okay.
but you send them a little bitty bouquet and you just go, remember this color, happy spring, love Annie.
I really do know what I'm doing. P.S. I really know what I'm doing.
Whatever you want to do. If you want to confess to them, fine, go ahead. But I'm like, remember this color. Mhm.
Okay, I'm
That's
gonna
what you have to
I'm
do.
going to do that. I'll come back.
You'll have
and
to
tell you
report
that.
in. I
will
want to know
report
exactly
back.
what kind of
I will report back.
floral they got. I mean, like, I want to know what you sent.
Do you have a worse design? Oh, we'll save that for.
Yeah, save that for another day because, like, I
Okay,
don't wanna
I
fess
have
up
a
just yet.
question about bedding.
bedding.
Yeah.
Okay. Again.
Because I'm redoing our bedroom finally. We're going full board, doing our master bedroom.
oh my goodness,
I'm so
you're
excited.
personal.
Yes.
The cobbler's kids don't have any shoes.
That's
You know
right.
this.
Right. We sort of live like grad students in our bedroom.
Okay, well, that's a
The rest of the
confession
house is
too.
pretty- yes,
Holy
we live
moly,
like
you're
grad
just
students.
full of them today.
I
Okay.
am. I'm just laying it all
Are
out there.
laying them out.
Okay,
man.
but I want to know because I finally want to buy some great sheets.
I know great sheets.
What do you? I like crispy percale.
Oh,
Isn't that weird?
no, it's not weird. It's personal preference.
Do you do linen?
Yes.
Oh, you do. And I've never slept on linen.
Oh my goodness! Once you do it, you'll never go back.
Well, that's what Pam at Red Tiki tells me because
sweet
she keeps
Pam.
saying you need the Society brand.
Well, Society brand I'm less familiar with, but I
Mhm.
just love Libico linen. It's just
Mhm,
Belgian
mhm.
linen, and the more you wash the sheeting, the softer it gets. And the lovely thing about linen, little linen 101, linen breathes so well. That's why it's a wonderful fabric to wear, obviously in the summer and in the humidity and all
And
those
with
kinds
hot
of things.
flashes.
And what?
With hot flashes.
Well, yeah, that too, girl. I'm saying.
I should
Yeah.
definitely sleep in linen.
Maybe I need to be sleeping in a linen gown or something. I don't know. But the nice thing, I sleep on linen sheets, so we're good. A nice
Okay,
thing about
that's
the linen,
interesting.
though, is that it's breathable.
Mhm.
And if you get really good linen, not this, lesser quality want to be linen, but the true, authentic Belgian linen, the flax is
Yes.
really hardy, and so the linen is just amazing in its weave, then it will get softer as you wash
That's what
it.
I hear.
Do what?
It does get softer, huh?
It gets so soft as you wash it. And the other thing is you think, oh, linen's going to wrinkle. Well, there is some beauty in this
I don't care about
relaxed,
that.
casual
I am
aspect of it.
relaxed.
But if it's really good linen, all you have to do is put just a little bit of linen spray. You know, it can be your lavender water or whatever you want it to be, and literally mist it and then pat it out flat.
Oh, that's so elevated.
Yeah. And
Okay.
that's all you have to do. You don't have to iron it. You don't have to get crazy town with it. And it's just so yummy beyond belief.
Okay, I need to step it up in that. I've been waiting for a long time.
It's just an amazing experience. And I would advise you to probably wash the sheets a couple of times before you actually, you know,
Okay.
even sleep on them for the first time. And then it's still going to feel a little different for you. And then you're going to realize, wow, this is good. And you're going to love it for hot flashes.
Okay, yeah, that would be great
Love it.
to help with that. Okay, but here's my other question. I go to do an install in a bedroom.
Okay.
And we do the beautiful everything, the beautiful
Okay.
shams, and then we're putting the new gorgeous sheets on. And then they have one of those hideous little My Pillows.
I want a My Pillow.
I want to try one because they swear by them, and I'm
know.
having a fit because they're so ugly and it doesn't make the bed look
I don't
pretty.
even know what they look
But
like.
they-
I just hear them advertised all the
They're
time. Maybe
like
they
some
need to
little-
advertise
I
with
think
us.
We should get one because I think they're 2 for 1.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe that's another thing we have to do.
Have you tried a My Pillow, Lulu?
No, but if you don't like them, I'll take them.
Oh, okay.
well,
there
okay.
you go.
She's willing to take our.
Yeah, I need
Somebody
I
would
need
like.
pillows next year for my house.
Oh, okay. You can have all
Okay,
the
we're-
rejects. Let's
okay,
try
we're
it.
doing
All
that.
the rejects.
We're totally doing that.
Okay,
we
we're
might
gonna
even do
report
it while
back
we're on
on
the air
My
here.
Pillow.
Yeah, we're gonna. It's mypillow.com, I think.
I think so too.
Anyways, we'll do that. So, what are you
Like a
going to do
memory
with
foam.
it?
Memory
something.
foam ones?
Mm.
Okay,
Mm.
they're good under a normal pillow. Because I slept at my friend Clara's house and she had one under a normal pillow and it was amazing.
Oh,
That's
under
what
a
we
normal
do.
pillow. Okay, we're gonna
Under
do that.
your normal
You have
pillow.
to get closer. I think if you're gonna
You're sleeping on the normal pillow, but you have the extra support of the memory foam.
Brilliant. We're gonna do that.
Really good.
Mm.
Okay, we need to do that.
Okay, we're gonna do that.
So then, what do you do with the My Pillows? You were just talking about, it and you're like, okay, so
Oh,
they
I
have
hide
these.
it
What do you
underneath
do
all
with
the
them?
pretty pillows. There's nothing else you can do. 'Cause
You
they
hide 'em.
won't- Yeah,
You have to hide them.
you have to hide
You just
them.
put them in the back. Just hide
Yep.
them.
Just cover them up with the
I
pretty
have a
stuff.
confession now if we're talking
Oh.
about bedding.
Okay.
So, very, very early on in my career, I was tasked with bedding for a master bedroom. And this was back in the mid 90s. So, styles were different, things were different.
Everything was.
And I found
pretty
the
bad.
most amazing fabric you ever did see that just felt so great. And it was so soft to touch. And I thought, well, I'm going to have a custom duvet made.
Mhm.
And so I put that fabric on the top. And then on the back, I found this really great linen cotton
Sounds
blend
outstanding.
that was in a solid. I was so proud of myself. I'd done the whole button
Mhm,
thing. And I
mhm.
was like, this
Pretty,
duvet is
pretty,
going to be
pretty.
amazing. And it was the heaviest thing I have ever in my life. It was
fabric?
like putting my clients under a suit of armor. It was so heavy. Nobody could slide underneath it. And I went to pick it up at the workroom and I went, oh my gosh. Well, maybe it's just folded up.
Right.
Because in my naive mind, I thought, well, maybe it's just folded up and it's not going to be that heavy. Oh no. When you got the goose down insert in, oh my gosh, it was so bad. It was so
What did the client say?
heavy. Well,
Or did you just
they
leave
told
it there?
me it was really heavy, and then they told me it was really hot. And so I just was like mortified.
Mm.
And it was one of the first lessons I learned, and I replaced the whole
Oh,
thing.
God bless you. That's hard.
I
when
replaced
you're-
the whole thing. But
Mm.
one of my favorite things to do for duvets now, because I'm so paranoid, is if there's not already a duvet that's pre-made that I feel like it's of decent quality and it's the appropriate thing for the bed, I actually will take flat sheets and I will actually make the back side of the duvet in the same flat sheet as what I'm putting on the bed itself.
Nice.
And then the top would be obviously a lighter weight, accommodating.
I use a lot of the Kuru fabrics that
What's
are
this?
double wide bedding fabrics.
Yes.
I do because I love those.
I do too. CC
love
Milano is one of my favorites.
Yes.
Have you used their stuff?
Yes,
Oh
love
my
their
gosh,
stuff.
It makes my mouth water.
Yeah,
It's so
totally.
great. It's, it's crisp and it's light and, they'll do the bedding too. They'll make it for you. But most of the time I use my local
But if you
workroom.
do that heavy one, you could just tell them accidentally again. If you did a heavy blanket, you could just say it's a gravity blanket. Have you heard of those?
Well, I wasn't smart enough to tell them that.
Well, they weren't a thing back then.
Yeah.
You were ahead of your time.
I wasn't smart enough to tell them that. I was just like, oh no, this is so awful. And I just replaced it. I just was
so
like, we've got to
here's
do something
another
else.
tip on bedding that I have made this mistake. I've made a beautiful fabric choice, beautiful toile, made it into a quilt for a bed, and they have a dog.
Oops.
A little dog.
Oops.
The little dog sleeps on the bed,
Yep.
and the little dog throws up on the bed. And if you don't have a retail type of comforter, you know what I mean?
Right.
That can be washed and
On the bed.
Yes. You're kind of in
A pinch.
hot water.
Yeah. Because you do need that inexpensive, still looks good, but I can throw it in the washing machine.
So that's a
lesson learned. I try to get everything either washable or I at least try to think about, what and how would this fabric perform if we had a situation like that. But most of the stuff, even like with slip covers, I try really hard to make sure that we wash the fabric multiple times before we actually construct whatever it is that's going on the bed in case the client does need to throw it in the wash for whatever reason. So I try to use the washable fabrics, but not all of them are.
Not all of them are, and not all of them come out the same way they went in the washer.
No, they will not.
That's a huge
lot of
problem.
times they won't perform. Yeah. They lose their dye or whatever it is. So I think that's a really good tip is that if you do have a dog that sleeps on the bed or sleeps with you, to consider putting something that's just an off the shelf, inexpensive but appropriate looking. Have your designer help you pick it out and make sure that you have that as a backup to your good stuff. And then, of course, when your company comes or whatever, you fold it neatly at the end of the bed and it still looks tidy. Yeah, the whole thing. I think that's fantastic.
You can step it up a notch for the guests, but for day to day,
it's been a long week. This makes me want to go to bed.
Jammy time.
I know. It's like the days are just flying by, especially when you have all this time that, you're out in the field and trying to get
we've been busy,
up.
And you're headed out of town.
Yeah, I'm headed out of town.
I'm
going back
crazy.
home. Home's in Arkansas.
And then when
Texas.
you get back, your intern's going to do all your work.
I'm so excited about my intern doing all the work. Actually, what'll be really great is we're going to have Lulu come on and ask us questions and engage with us about what are the questions that maybe she doesn't have, but maybe her friends have.
She might have them. Her generation.
Yeah.
Lots of questions.
Okay. So see, she has lots of questions and we'll go through that. And then Lulu's going to help us do some blasting out on the IG and the Facebook and all those other social media outlets. Yeah. Well, and then your brother is going to help us with some
big journalist brother.
Yeah, he's serious.
He's very
he's
serious.
going to take some video for us.
Yeah.
He's going to do video for us. So
you guys are going to
y'all better be watching for that. Do what?
Take over the world. That's the next step.
Okay. Well, I'll let
Design Salvation.
Yeah, Design Salvation. We're into it. It's all good. Thanks for listening to us today.
Thanks.
We'll talk to you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, y'all. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. You can also find us at designsalvation.com, where we'll have the past podcasts listed as well as show notes. Hope to see you there.